They say the greatest journey begins with a single step. For Dominique Moceanu, that step was a leap into national all-around champion at just 13, world silver and bronze medalist, and an Olympic gold. At 14, she became the face of US Gymnastics, and she was just getting started. She was a powerhouse who trained under Béla and Márta Károlyi and was thought to be the next Nadia Comaneci. With proud Romanian roots and a dazzling stage presence, Dominique's power, grace, and infectious smile captivated the world. In 1995, Béla made her a star. But behind the glittering spotlight was a harsh reality: corruption, abuse, and a controlling father who ruled her life. Although she was selected for the Olympic team, a stress fracture in her shin was causing excruciating pain, but was forced to continue. After Olympic glory, Team Gold in '96, the Károlyis retired and her gymnastics suffered. She was in a place of transition, growing 7 inches while finding a new coach. But transition shockingly turned tragedy when she soon realized millions of dollars was missing from her private bank account. She was forced to separate from her father, who not only spent her money, but was now rumored to have actually hired a hitman to murder her new coach. This started her extraordinary fight for justice, and she was just getting started. Along the way, even more shocking secrets were revealed and rocked her very existence, and her involvement in the biggest scandal in the sport's history would soon change everything, forever. This is the story of Dominique Moceanu, a gymnast who endured unthinkable highs and lows, yet refused to let them define her. From her historic rise to the heartbreaking realities behind toxic training, her fight for the truth inspired others to share their story. Proving that strength isn't just about gold medals, it's about having the courage to keep going with each new obstacle. Her story teaches us no matter how difficult the road ahead, the journey always starts the same way, with a single step. Imagine achieving your wildest dreams at 14. What next? For Dominique Moceanu, she was determined to chase Olympic glory once more. But sometimes staying at the top can be harder than reaching it. After winning gold in Atlanta, the Magnificent Seven traveled America, more than 30 shows with sold-out venues. Magazines, commercials, interviews, and worldwide fame came suddenly. It all took its toll on training time, and in 1997, Dominique's gymnastics had suffered. Slipping to 14th at Worlds, she wasn't in top form anymore, and without her coach feared she wouldn't get there again. She considered quitting the sport. Dominique faced a difficult transition. With Béla Károlyi retired, she struggled to find stability, bouncing from coach to coach. At the same time, she hit a major growth spurt, growing 7 inches. Eventually, her father, Dominique Moceanu, found a new coach for her, Romanian Luminița Mișenco. Under Mișenco's guidance, Dominique was posed for comeback. However, behind the scenes, tensions were rising. Dominique's relationship with her father became increasingly strained, especially as she started questioning how her finances were being handled. Her father opened a $4 million 70,000 square foot gym, which he envisioned as a training home for future champions. Instead, it was home to enormous financial burden. With its world-class size, overhead was daunting, including a $7,000 monthly power bill, loan payments, and a variety of tuition and student expenses haunted its success. Without even knowing, Dominique's life savings was gone in a matter of months. She was broke. Additionally, her father abruptly fired Mișenco, fearing she was encouraging Dominique to become too independent. That same night, enraged, Dominique packed her bags, took what she could fit in her car, and left home. 2 days later, she filed a lawsuit to be legally declared an adult, saying it wasn't about money, but about control over her own life. While her parents initially resisted, they eventually agreed, and by October 28th, she was legally emancipated, giving her the right to investigate her own finances. But the situation escalated even further. Dominique later revealed that her father had been following her, showing up at her school, and even hiring a private investigator to track her. Then, in November, Houston homicide detectives informed her of something unthinkable. There were tapes of her father allegedly plotting to have Moceanu and a family friend killed. What had started as a fight for independence had turned into a series of heartbreak. From losing her coach, moving out, and losing her money, Dominique's mental and physical health was broken. Because of the monumental amount of adversity, Dominique fell short of her 2000 Olympic comeback. Nearly 12 years later, Moceanu released her memoir, Off Balance, a revealing account of her life in gymnastics and the dark truths behind the sport's celebrated success. In the book, she writes, she was the first gymnast to publicly call out Béla and Márta Károlyi for their abusive coaching methods, detailing the toxic culture of fear, control, and emotional manipulation she endured. But because Márta was still coaching the national team, Dominique was silenced and blacklisted from USAG. In 2016, Dominique Moceanu reluctantly attended the 20th anniversary reunion for the Magnificent Seven at Olympic trials, knowing USA Gymnastics had only invited her out of obligation. At the event, she reconnected with many old friends, but one conversation changed everything. While Dominique was struggling for others to listen to her story, another friend had a story much worse than hers, and she would listen. Jamie Dancer, a 2000 Olympian, pulled her aside and asked a chilling question. Did Larry Nassar ever do anything that made you feel uncomfortable or embarrassed? Jamie then revealed what he had done to her, and to others. As Jamie listed names, Moceanu felt a deep, sick feeling that this was bigger than anyone knew. She told Jamie, "What he did needs to be reported." Moceanu had already been speaking out about the Károlyi's abusive training for years, first breaking her silence in 2008 during an HBO Real Sports interview. Unfortunately, although she knew she did the right thing, she received shocking backlash. Not only from USA Gymnastics, but it seemed no one believed her. She was accused of seeking fame, in it for the money, bitter and unappreciative. No one wanted to hear her story. In 2017, when Nassar's case exploded, she testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee. It became clear. She had been right all along.
I have first-hand knowledge of how the culture set the stage for other atrocities to occur. It is a culture of fear, intimidation, and humiliation.
Standing with her, fellow champions Jamie Dancer and Jessica Howard, who say that culture created an environment that allowed their team doctor, Larry Nassar, to sexually abuse them.
Jamie Dancer and other key whistleblowers, who refused to be silenced, led to a conviction. Finally, Larry was behind bars, and the world was watching. Dominique Moceanu's incredible story started with one step, a step towards a sport she loved. It ended with the will to expose the truth. The sport that claimed to care for its athletes had abandoned her and countless others. She had fallen in the past, on the beam, on the bars, in life. Each time she got up again, taking each step for justice. Many moments that proved her resilience. However, there was one moment in her career that would teach her everything she now knew as truth. After a disappointing 1997, many had already written off Moceanu as no longer a fierce competitor. And with the rise of Svetlana Horkina, world all-around gold medalist in '97, most had the Russian pegged to win the 1998 Goodwill Games as well, including herself. In her first rotation, her signature vault scored a 9.487, which opened the door, several tenths below her normal score. Dominique started on bars. It's so important to start strong and get ahead as much as possible. And that she did. A beautiful routine, scoring a 9.625. It wasn't until she mounted the beam, the competition seemed to be turning to a surprising outcome. While Horkina scored 9.8 on bars, Dominique's beam routine was beautiful and scored 9.750, the highest of any at the competition. Suddenly, Horkina would take notice, not happy about the current placement. Newcomer Maria Olaru was now in third place behind Horkina. Dominique took the floor, knowing if she could hit, she would be in the mix to medal. And another clean routine sent Dominique well ahead. If Horkina wanted gold, she needed to be perfect. Any mistake on beam and she would have no chance. Oh, a slight wobble. And another. That was it for Horkina. She would not win gold, and any podium chances looked grim at this point. Dominique's vault was enough to send her to the top, an all-around gold medal. She had proven once again that she could still compete with the best in the world. In this moment, in 1998, while navigating coaching changes and intense family struggles, losing a gym and all her money, her lowest point, she found her truth and took the step forward. With that step, she once again became a champion. But this time, gold was all hers. Her journey shows us that even in our darkest moments, it is possible to overcome your greatest challenges, and that courage is found while moving forward. Even if that means just a single step.